Good evening, everyone, and hello. I'm your host, Sheila Seppi, and I'd like to welcome you to Cosmic Conversation. So, wherever you are, whatever platform that you're watching on, whether it's live or on replay, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, our guest for this show is Zinka Caro. But before we start, I would like to introduce to you Suzanne Ross. Now, Suzanne is the host of the Ascension Retreat, and I've invited her here tonight to tell you just a little bit about the retreat and how you can become part of it. So, hello, Suzanne. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Sheila. It was so nice to see you at the Conscious Life Expo just a few days ago.
Woohoo! Yes, it was. How fun was that?
That was fun. And many of the speakers who were there at the Conscious Life Expo are going to be in Sedona in a month. It's March 17th through the 19th. And this event is a 3-day extravaganza. There are presentations, performances, also journeys into sacred vortex sites around Sedona, as well as over a dozen workshops. Of course, there's plenty of retail and food vendors. And a highlight of our event is the George Norrie live show. So George Norrie, star of Coast to Coast Radio and also Beyond Belief on Gaia TV, is going to have a big entertaining show for 3 hours on Saturday night from 5 to 8 p.m. And so we really look forward to that. They really put on a spectacular show. They're going to have first guys that they interview, like the UFO guy, John Polk, Dr. Sky, which is Steve Cates, Billy Carson. Unfortunately, James Prog isn't going to be able to make it, but instead, he's going to have an interdimensional adventures guest panel. So you won't want to miss that. And then on Sunday, we're in the main theater all day for back-to-back presentations from some of these world-renowned speakers, best-selling authors, spiritual practitioners. And Deb Giusti on Sunday night hosts an Ascension panel. So 3 full days with so much going on in one of Sedona's largest venues, which seats over 750. The Sedona Performing Arts Center is gorgeous, and I am so delighted to be holding my retreat there. This is the front side of our flyer, and you can see these awesome people that we have coming, but we also have another flyer, the back side of our flyer, which is the other speakers who are going to be speaking at my event, which include Kimberly Meredith, Raquel Spring, Melissa Fike, Vivian Chavot, some really great gals who'll be speaking as well on the alternate stage. So yes, very excited. Go to SedonaAscensionRetreats.com to sign up today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Suzanne. And I appreciate your being here. I will put the sign up link in our chat, or if you would like to do that, you're welcome to stay with us throughout our entire presentation if you have the time. And if not, we thank you so much for coming and sharing this amazing information with us. And this is just one more opportunity where you guys can go get your spirit fed, meet wonderful, wonderful people, and have a wonderful time. I tell you, the Conscious Life Expo was so awesome this year because so many of us that have been talking to each other on Zoom forever finally got to meet face to face. And that was super, super exciting. I know it was for me, and I think it was for others. And of course, I had the opportunity to meet Zinka. Hello. How are you?
Great. It's great to see you again virtually.
Absolutely, it is. And before we start, I do want to share just a little bit of information about Zinka. Now, you know, Zinka has been here with us before. She has talked a little bit about LightNet, and they've got so much phenomenal stuff going on that I just had to invite her back. Now, Zinka is what you would consider a futuristic software architect, and she is the founder of LightNet. You can find that at www.lightnet.org. And this is a citizen science platform that connects shared wisdom about consciousness, extended human capabilities, non-human intelligence, and other dimensions. Zinka is a pioneer in the mind over matter consciousness research, including spoon bending and electromagnetic radio contact. So Zinka, hello, hello, hello. Thanks so much for being here with us again.
Yeah, thanks so much for all you're doing, Sheila. You represent the feminine intelligence. And again, I just want to commend you for putting CAN TV together, because this is, a consortium. It's all of the people working together. And I think that if one thing that we could show up as right now in the consciousness community is in collaboration. We've always been competing, but what result do we get when we collaborate? So I just want to commend you for all your top-notch work. You are doing such an amazing job. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I love the work you're doing. And I'm going to go ahead and just turn everything over to you. And I can't wait to hear what you've got to share with us.
Yeah, tonight I want to talk to you guys about creation. So I'm going to give you some tools and talk to you about creating that thing in your heart that you go, wow, that would be like a dream come true if that happened. So we're going to talk about some of the principles of that. And we're gonna spend some time getting into our heart and figuring out what that is if you don't know. So we're also going to talk a little bit about what we're doing in 2 weeks, which is Contact 100, where we're going to assemble 100 people to do a really big experiment with contact. So we'll talk about that at the end, but it's a very extraordinary experience. So let me share my screen here. And let's get into this. So here we go. Let me get into presenter mode here. All right. So so we're going to talk a little bit about, how to liberate your mind, right? Because that's the first step in a way. And maybe we should even say how to liberate your heart, because that really is where the desire comes from. That's where the passion, that's the fuel for everything that you create in this world. And, LightNet was formed because we believe that when science and spirituality come together, we can step into this magic. And you guys have all felt synchronicities in your life. And we're going to talk about what that means and how that happens. So, what would happen if we expanded the belief system of the world? If we just did that one thing, it would have a cascading effect on almost everything else in the world, because we would know that really anything is possible, right? We can create this wave of awe and wonder. And there's 3 principles that I want to talk about tonight. Number 1 is curiosity. When your brain is in curiosity, it's actually throwing out all the patterns of the 95% of your subconscious mind that has you on autopilot all day long. You know how to respond to questions, you know how to do the things. You're not changing from that script, because otherwise it would be exhausting. When you get into curiosity, your brain goes, I don't know the pattern, got to make a new pattern. And that's where you're writing into your life. So when you're curious, it's a really good thing. I've also noticed that meaning, when you assign meaning to something, you actually fuel your creations, because it's love, really. So when you assign, for example, your friends to certain animals or numbers that you like, that creates meaning. You're in a direct conversation with the universe, God, all that is, however you want to call it, right? So when we give meaning to our lives, and as communities, even together, it can be very, very powerful. And number 3, connection. I've been working for the last year connecting with ETs, past loved ones in other dimensions, angels, higher self, all those things that we can't see. And I can tell you right now, it's been life-changing, because I never knew that they were right here, right here, waiting to help us when we falter, waiting to help us when we're doubting, waiting to cheer us on when we need it. And so many people are missing that connection with the other side. And I think it's very powerful. And it's kind of the same with each other. Like when we connect with each other, just like Sheila's pulling people together, Suzanne's pulling people together, that's where we really supercharge everything that we're creating. I want to talk a little bit about spoon bending, because it really does expand your belief system. I saw this picture of this man, Jack Houck, and it was the weirdest thing when I saw it. It was like a tunnel came, like a wormhole came up around him. And I will never forget it because it was a very strange experience for me. And it made me think, oh, wow, I think I'm supposed to be doing this. And I thought spoon bending was the craziest thing someone had ever said. I mean, it's just like ridiculous to me right at that time. And I was going through the dark night of the soul for a year, and I was very depressed. And this made me laugh really hard. And I thought, wow, I'm going to try to do this. And his methodology required an instant belief change. And you needed to have one person in the party that could do it. And once they do it, they bend that spoon. It goes, everyone bends like in that moment because you're lost in the moment. It's almost like you're dancing. And then you just see on the back of your mind, someone bend. It's like, bam. So I realized that I was going to need to get someone at my party, since I was a total newbie, that could bend. So I started calling around LA where I was living. And I called the Southern California Psychic Institute. I said, I'm having a PK party. Do you know anyone can bend spoons? They said, well, yeah, we have workshops and we do this in silent meditation. We're not going to do this screaming. Like, no. Basically almost hung up the phone. Not really, but this was not, this was uncouth for them. So I called Mystic Bookstore, Journey Bookstore, and they were like, I was like, do you know anyone who can spoon bend? And they said, yes, I can. And I was like, great, can you come to my party? And she said, yes. The problem was the day of the party, she called me and she said, I can't come. And I thought, wow, you can't come. What am I going to do? And I was with my son at the park that day. And I kid you not, I was burying him and I pulled out of the sand a spoon that was bent. It was a plastic spoon that was bent at a right angle. And then someone walked by with a t-shirt that said, just do it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I mustered up the courage to get to this party and lead this party, but we didn't have 15 people, which was the required amount, according to Jack. He taught 16,000 people. He said, I don't even do parties with less than 15. So I thought, wow. And I one of my friends convinced both of her parents to show up so we would have 15. And believe it or not, we did it. And this is my face. I was like, what is going on? And I was so excited. And this is the girl who bent that night. And we couldn't even sleep that night. I mean, we just thought, we just couldn't believe it. And then I repeated at the IONS conference, and I've been doing parties ever since. And this is his chart of how he started. So I think that that's part of my mission, is to, in 1 hour, completely expand your belief in what is possible. One time, Dean Radin showed me that he was bending a spoon in his interview. And we had never had someone do high school bending, which is bend the buckle. And all of a sudden, sure enough, this man with the hat did it one night. And sure enough, 4 people did it that night too. Like, so we hadn't been able to do it. And sure enough, 4 people did it. So it's kind of like the 4-minute mile. And now we've had 25 people do it. So it's kind of like the 4-minute mile. Nobody could run a 4-minute mile. It was impossible to the human body. Nobody could do it. And then all of a sudden someone does it. And now 2,000 people have done the 4-minute mile. So all of you guys on this call, watching this broadcast, you are the pioneers. You're the forerunners. You're the people that are moving that bar of what's possible outward for the rest of humanity. And just like the 100th monkey effect, monkeys were teaching each other how to wash sweet potatoes. And once they got to 100 monkeys that learned how to do it, monkeys from all over the world started doing it. So it's a collective consciousness that we're tapping in. So the more that you can live your consciousness, your high consciousness, the more you're actually helping the people around you, the more you can live out your dreams.
I was hanging on. I'm thinking of everybody else. I thought forks wouldn't work for me because the other 2 didn't at all. And so I was just like, okay, well, I got good twisty spoons.
Sorry, you guys, I probably wasn't even sharing sound there. So excuse that. I was hearing it here. But anyway, so these 2 girls, there was a 7-figure retreat. So graduate school bending is where you bend without touching, right? You just hold the things in your hand and they melt. And we had never done it before, but this is the month after we'd done the other one. And sure enough, these women started doing it. And now we have, again, 23 people that have done it. So it's really like accepting the fact that we can do anything and getting used to the fact that we can do anything. We can call in crafts, we can bend spoons, we can make our dreams come true, we can lead conferences, we can do really anything. We even can sprout seeds in our hand. We can even do it online. So
sorry, someone is not muted. I'm so sorry, Zinka, but if everyone could go on mute, please, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
This, by the way, is Susan Schatzer, was going to be doing a miracle healing on Saturday for free on LightNet. If you go to lightnet.org/hangout, you can sign up. But she works with the Galactic Ambassador team, and she says that, you know, she likes to work on people's problems where they've gone to everyone they could. You know what I mean? They've gone to all the healers, the doctors, the counselors, whatever. And she likes to solve those difficult problems for you. So if you have that block that you're facing and you want her to help you, her mind is unlimited, and she can move that energy in a really beautiful way. So by the way, this is how we do spoon bending. We set the intention, we command for it to happen, we get out of our heads and into our hearts, and then we let it happen and let it go. And you can apply this to anything that you want in your life. So know what you want, you know, really think of, like, you know, you can't really manifest anything that you don't want to do just for the joy of it, right? That's the universe responds to for the joy of it, because otherwise you're filtering your like desires through what you should do or all these other things, and it gets kind of complicated. And then you have to trust that it will happen in divine timing. So sometimes we hold on to it like, why isn't it happening? Why isn't it happening? Why isn't my spoon bending? That's reverse manifesting, you guys. That's making it not happen because you're doubting yourself. You're doubting that it's going to happen. So you really have to let it go and know that it will. So I was, you know, this really changed my life to know that consciousness is fundamental, more fundamental than matter. I mean, this is absolute. The scientists are all scratching their heads. Let me just say this one more time. Consciousness is more fundamental than matter. Wild, right? And this really changes everything when we look at everything that we're up to in the world, when we start to know that consciousness is what we really need to use. And you guys have probably seen the Emoto's rice experiment. You can do this with a thing of rice, say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you in one, and I love you, I love you, I love you in the other one for 60 seconds. And this is what you'll get in 20 days. This takes longer than spoon bending, but 20 days will show you what your consciousness can do. So the end result of liberating your mind is your freedom, your joy, your power, and your love is going to come shining through. And that's what I want for all of you guys. So, you know, I had this vision the other day that someone put their hand on my shoulder and said, after I die, like, well, Zenka, you could have done anything. You were in an unlimited container where anything was possible. And I think sometimes we forget that. I think sometimes we're like cattle that go through a corral and don't really realize that this experience that we're in was designed to be unlimited. The only limit is our mind. That really is the only limit. So I want to spend 60 seconds right now dropping into our heart for each one of you guys and really thinking, what would be a dream come true for you? And I'm going to start this timer. And I really love to do these 1 minute drop-ins because they're so powerful. So here we go. So put your hands on, you know, heart math teaches you put your hand on your heart. It draws attention to your heart. Slow down your breathing by doing box breathing and really ask yourself if what would seem like a dream come true in your life. Thank you guys. Beautiful. So as you guys know, when you speak your dreams and when you write them down and when you tell your friends and all that stuff, it really gets closer and closer. I know that curiosity is a driver of manifestation because I got interested in teleportation recently, and all of a sudden I'm meeting all these people who've teleported. I've learned about teleportation devices, and I don't think those came into my reality by chance. I think they came in because of my curiosity. So often the thing that you're most curious about is really the direction that you want to go. Also want to talk about meaning. This was the second thing we talked about. I assign animals to each one of my friends, and then I see them, these animals, when I'm thinking about them or they're thinking about me. So I want you to try that this week. Assign animals or numbers to some of your favorite people in your life and watch as they manifest around you. My friend was with deers, and all of a sudden these massive deers showed up at her house. I also had once my screensaver changed to butterflies, and I don't even know how to do that. So manifestation can occur through digital objects that we're not touching. It's not just nature and things like that. It can be happening through digital things. I also was on TikTok once, and there was a TikTok that was showing up. It came through, like I was on an interview and it just came through, and it was a LightNet. So it was very interesting. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is connection. I've been doing a lot of radio research, connecting to the other side. It was funny because at Conscious Life Expo, when I did my talk, someone said, "Can we do ET contact right now?" And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. We have 10 minutes. Why don't we try? And we did this 10-minute process. And all of a sudden the radios just went berserk. So it was this really beautiful confirmation. It's almost like the Michelangelo painting. When we touch God, the universe, however you want to call it, when we touch source, there is a magical set of creations that start to take place. So we are building a very complex database on LightNet to track our contact with other realms. And you can contact celestials, angels, galactic spirits, time travelers, all sorts of things. And we believe it's a repressed curiosity in the world. Obviously everything's moving forward. We've looked at all the Reddits. This is a curiosity that we've had that's been repressed over time. So people after contact are more loving, they're more ecological, more spiritual, and 50% experience miracle medical healing, which is crazy. So there's really a reason why we're doing this. It really shakes you out of your belief system, and it connects you with a realm of highly intelligent people and galactics that can actually help you on your path. They can heal you, they can guide you. And it's incredible. This is CCRI's research. So LightNet's building a search engine that will allow you to click on a pie chart and get more information, because we're awakening in a lot of different ways. And if, our research shows that a traumatic event and an illness or injury is how most people wake up. So if you were to add those top 2 bars in a row, it'd be across the screen. Do we really want people to be in illness and injury or traumatic event to wake up? No, there's so many other ways, and contact is one of them. Our research shows that the way people stop waking up or freeze up is when they feel isolated and they don't feel comfortable talking to people about it. So this is why Cosmic Conversations, your community, all these communities around Susan's community, Suzanne's community, all these things are so important. So we set out to see if we could get 100 people to have a life-changing contact experience. And we thought, well, let's put them together with an intention, just like Lynn McTaggart. Let's put a really loving environment so people feel community and feel relaxed. Let's give them a chance to practice hands-on, and let's learn from each other and flip the classroom. Because really, you guys, we learn by doing. And those experiences, once you have that first experience, you're like, that was a fluke. And the second experience, you're like, wow, that was amazing. And the third experience, you really know you can do it. And this is our results from season 1. We had 94% make contact. In season 2, 96%. So people were telling us, like I freed myself from self-imposed limitation. I had no idea how powerful and capable we were. So people became less fearful. They went from confidence, and we asked them why they made contact. And they said it was the consciousness and the intention of the group that was most important. So when you gather together, set your intentions, because together we can do anything. And then really be in a loving and open-minded environment. So at LightNet, we allow people, once they've been in a team, to guide a team, because this really is a domino effect. We really want this to spread as quickly as possible. This is a sneak peek behind our platform that we just launched. We have a massive database of experience reports where people can talk about what happened to them, and they can organize it just for in their own little library. This is how many ways you can make contact: dreams, hypnosis, kundalini, near death, post-death communication, prayer, telepathy, telekinesis, right? And if you see a humanoid being, what type is it? Is it, feline, is mini humans, If it's a non-humanoid being, what else is it? A cryptid? Is it a galactic? Where is it from? Andromeda, Arcturus? So this is a pretty serious database, and it also has a lot of different resources. So articles, books, things like that, because we believe that this is important to have a sacred library. Otherwise, all our resources are getting lost on Discord and Reddit. And where do we find them again? Where do we share them? So it's really designed to be a sharing resource and a way to get there faster. And we believe that there are going to be incredibly simple patterns that emerge. So if the same thing that allows us to bend a spoon makes us see a UFO or speak with dead people, if it's belief in heightened emotion, for example, then that's important to know. Because once we solve one thing, we could solve everything at once. And we've started with the impossible, moved to the improbable. Next season, we're going to be working with addiction, and how do people stop that? What are the best methods? And then move into all sorts of things. So the last section we're going to be doing is Unicorn Labs, where we're going to help people find their purpose. So this is really collective wisdom. We've studied how people make ET contact, and we're getting really good at it. And then we'll show people how to work with addictions and find their purpose. This is an example of how someone got off epilepsy, for example. The nutrition was their biggest thing, and Reiki was something, more important than even medications. So in this pie chart, you could click on nutrition and find out what he used. I want to close by talking about this crazy experiment we're doing with 100 people in 2 weeks called Contact 100. This gentleman, Altair, is he's incredible. His consciousness, unlike, there's a few people on this planet that can really call down ships for mass sightings, and he's one of them. His brain is in permanent Schumann resonance. So his brain almost is like it's in DMT at all times. So it's like he's dreaming while he's awake. And I think really that's kind of the goal of all of us, is to dream our dreams into reality. Once we're healed and all that stuff, we can really do that. And he's incredible. He was awakened when he was 2 years old. And he's been taught by Yogananda, Dalai Lama, the highest wisdom in the world. He studied every single religion there is. And he's going to be sharing his deepest techniques. Everybody's going to have their astrological Vedic chart to go by. We're going to be using sounds and smells and all sorts of things to really peel back the onion, because making contact with ETs is almost like you have to go, the portal is from inside. Once you go in, they're able to make that contact with you. It's fascinating. And I'll just close by, LightNet's an amazing community. We're a nonprofit. For $8 a month, you can have breakthrough coaching 3 times a week, hands-on workshops, a community call, which we're doing Saturday, spoon bending parties, interviews, and archives. So we really are here to make a great community. So how will we domino? How will we create this effect across the world? Curiosity, meaning, and connection. It's almost like the particle and the wave in quantum physics. We are all kind of particles now, but if we can become a wave together, if we can ride that wave, then really we're in resonance with all that is. And that love will take us everywhere. So just want to close with telling everyone to live your life as if it was your last. Even though we know we live forever, this is really our chance to really come together and shine. You can find us on social media, myself at Zenka Caro on TikTok, Instagram, all that, Facebook, and our LightNet. And I guess we can open it up to questions.
Yeah, wonderful. You know, as I'm listening to you, what you're
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you because there were sounds coming to my computer through the meditation. So I turned it off. Can you start that again?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so it sounds like everything that you're talking about stems around that element of belief.
Yes, 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 yes. And our subconscious mind doesn't believe that we're good enough. It doesn't believe that we can, doesn't believe we can bend spoons and all sorts of other things.
Beautiful. And so when you have someone who comes in, do you think it is that 100th monkey effect that allows everyone to be able to participate at these high levels of success?
Yes. So there's two things going on. Like in the spoon bending, you can have, if you have most people that believe and most people that are even just curious or open-minded, you get the effect. Mm-hmm. If too many people doubt, then it's a problem, right? You'll have problems with the party in general, bending. So we try to put the people that are really good benders next to the people that are not comfortable. And the 100th monkey effect is a tipping point, you guys. We're already there. Like, so this means that when you do your inner work, you're actually doing it for all of us, because all we have to do is keep moving up, and pretty soon kids are going to be like, oh yeah, you can definitely bend spoons. You can definitely heal people with your hands. I mean, that's crazy that we can heal people with our hands. Like Reiki works. Like we're living in a world where we believe Reiki works, and yet we haven't really realized the profound nature of that fact.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful point. So let me go ahead and open this up. Does anyone have any questions? Mary? All right, come on up.
Wow. Anyway, you're such an inspiration. I have two of my favorite women right above me here. It goes back to everything. If we have believed that we can do anything, we can do anything. We didn't grow up with these beliefs. We have been in 70 years of downward dog sadness, not good downward dog, the fear. And we all talk about the possibilities, and it's so friggin' true. If we believe we can do anything, we can do anything. I mean, thank God it's this year, it's right now. And the positivity is finally coming back that we've never seen before. Men were in control, the government was in control. Now it's not only just the feminine, the masculine, but we are self-healing. It is all about healing. I've been talking to my father a lot, as both of you know, up there, well, right here. Hi, Dad. But he said, fear's always been here. He said, it's always the curiosity, the intent, the wisdom, the wanting to learn, the wanting to be free, the wanting to be happy. We just want to be happy and learn and affect other people. Because if we don't have the meaning, we don't have the inspiration, if we don't have the self-love, the self-drive to stay really focused and to go connect inner and outer space, which we're doing between our hearts, our minds, our souls, our interiors, on planet, off planet. It's all about those connections firing 1,000%. So anyway, thank you for this great presentation, and thank both of you and everyone here. We're all in this together. It is all about the big wave. If we rise, if we can just stay positive, people say that to all of us all the time. Just be happy, be nice, be kind, know that we can do anything. Jesus, why is it taking 70 years for me to learn all this? I always knew I was positive and that I have different gifts. We all have all the gifts, and anyone that we really want to attack and understand. We just have to throw ourselves wide open and just say, I'm free falling. I want to know everything. And that's where I am. And that's what you just talk about. It's what you do, Sheila, every day. And many of you here, it's just friggin' positive. And it's fun and it's happy. So thank you for spreading the love and lifting us up. And that's what we're doing, the snowball effect. I can't wait for every day this year and next year, and just to watch everybody explode into happiness and acceptance, and knowing that we can do anything with our minds. Dad used to say Einstein talked about that. I mean, Einstein talked about that when he was at Princeton. He said, we limit ourselves, and we have been taught to limit ourselves. And we all know that. Wow. So anyway, believe, we just need to believe. And thank you for both of you for being such incredible powers in my life and inspiring all of us to just be our best and let it rip. I mean, God, we can be wild. We can be different. We know these things. We've been there. We've been off planet. We've seen these things. We know the truth. We just have to live it more fully. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. You are such an inspiration too. You have so much energy and so much conviction, so much talent. Congratulations on manifesting your show. So yeah, once you tap into your uniqueness, it was funny that was the song that started us off, right? Was like your true colors. So you are living a very interesting, very unusual, your life is only your life. So whatever whisper you're doing, whatever that thing is, whether it's doing the art show or whether it's having a baby or whether it's growing a garden or whether it's having your own show or whatever it is, that is what wants to come through if it's in your heart. And that's when you start to see like literally magic happening, you guys. Like it will meet you. It will meet you when you're just pure of heart and you're positive and you believe you can.
Right.
Ask for it. Sorry. And we asked for it, and then I'll unmute.
Yeah. Be intentional. Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, Susie, you had your hand raised. Hi.
Wow, this was so cool. And yay, Mary. Every time you talk, Mary, I'm a cheerleader. And Zenka, this is so exciting. And I want to say that, sometimes you're looking at, remember when your mama used to embroidery and you'd look under it and you'd go, oh my God, that's so ugly. But when you see on top, and a lot of times we're under it, looking and searching and wanting and creating. And well, something has happened to me where I'm kind of on the other side right now. I really have manifested something that's so blank and exciting. And I've never been more excited. I mean, it's so cool. So when you get on top, then you go, oh, all that pushing was so worth it, So yeah, keep us going, girl. That Zenka, you're just such an inspiration. Woo! I'm telling you.
So much. Thank you so much. And music changes the world. I really think music and stories are the thing that will change the world. You know what I mean? Like I can throw together data, but it's the stories of the contact, or it's the stories and it's the songs that are really where we change that cultural thing. And I want to hit on what you just said. Mary said, it gets easier. You're going to realize that all this pushing, it was hard. It's going to get easier and then easier and then easier. And yeah, we're holding it for the collective. We're saying like, let's go this way. And pretty soon we'll have the wind at our back in a big way.
And it's so good realizing that you created something. I mean, it's just so, you go, you strut. I mean, I've been doing this 54 years. And when you create something, but this is just, I'm just so thrilled. You just turned us on fire, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. They say that like the universe and source or God or however you want to call it created all of us so it could like observe the world from different points of view. But then someone said, no, Source and God wants to create. There's joy in creation. Creation is like what wants to happen. So that's why we're getting all of us as creators together. We're creating energy. We're creating hope. We're creating joy. We're creating an apple orchard or whatever we're creating. It's like, that's that ability to work with the universe to bring things forth, to birth things into the world, literally.
Right. You know, I realize and remember when I walked in 23 years ago into this body. It was very, very sick. And instantaneously healing occurred because of the energetic imprint of the soul onto the cellular structure. And this was no longer the body of the person of the soul before. But even coming in, it took me a long time to really be able to integrate these changes and the knowledge. But what I saw and looking in hindsight is it's almost like the belief that something different had happened. That in and of itself was enough that it began to create change. To know, first we have to observe it. Then we have to accept it, we have to believe it, and then it begins to move and to make changes in our life. And I love what you're doing because that's exactly what you're doing with all of these people. And that in and of itself is creating and sending these ripples out into our unified field. So I'm super excited about the work you're doing. And I'm wondering, are you still open to accept applicants or are you closed right now?
So we just closed season 3 with 15 different teams. We had telepathy, lucid dreaming, stone hobbits here. I mean, her class is interdimensional. I mean, it is absolute, like this is, you're learning from people that have a lifetime or probably many more lifetimes. And a lot of them have ETs on their teaching team. I mean, it's like hilarious. They're like, I'm not even teaching the team. Like these guys are coming through me. So this is amazing. We do this 4 times a year, but right now in 2 weeks, we're doing a special experiment. Those are small groups. This is 100 people at the same time. We have a little bit more than 20 spots left out of the 100. And this is hilarious. We're meeting from 10 o'clock at night, PST to 1 in the morning on Friday. And on Saturday, 10 at night to 1 in the morning, when the rest of the world's thoughts and disbeliefs and whatever are to bed, we're going to be out there. We're going to be connecting. And he's going to give us all these different techniques. We are going to call in ships. We are going to call in contact. And I believe it will happen with that many people gathered together, especially under Altair's guidance. You know, the guy is humble, but his brain is being studied by people in the whole world. He broke 5 Muse headsets. That's how high vibrational he is. It's like he's here to teach us something. And then we meet the next weekend to really integrate, like you said, integrate the knowledge, because sometimes it can be like, wow, it's like that expansion can be a little bit like, even for me, sometimes I'm just like, whoa. So we're going to have each other. We're going to put these 100 people on the new platform. And they're called Their Family One. We're going to be doing more of these, but this is the first family that's going to do this. So we want you guys to bond with each other and support each other as you really expand your mind and your support system, because they're right there. So yeah.
Awesome.
You can go to contact100.org. It's $375 for the 4 days. So yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Looking through. They've already heard our call. Yes, they have, Stone. They must.
Almost like I felt like when people registered, when they hit that like send button, it was almost like the whole experience had already started. It was like it was pulling them into this intention. You know what I mean? And I do feel like ETs want to contact us. They don't want to freak us out. They don't want to cause us trauma. And so they're very gentle and they're also very eager, right, to do this. Because I was talking to Steve Bassett, did an interview with him at Conscious Light Expo. He's like the UFO, lobbyist. And he's been trying to get the government to put out the, papers and research for decades. And he said, disclosure is going to happen when the president or head of state of another country declares that, yes, we've already had contact with ETs. Yes, they're here, they're real. And then we're going to go into a period shortly after that of open contact. And open contact is where they'll be here in the 3D with us, and we will have, he said they'll probably be in, sections, like restricted sections at first, and then they'll start to mingle with us. So we are going to live in this light, and he predicts in 2 years. So we're talking 2025, 2027.
Right.
These are the beginning. They're already the government's trying to float this thing so that everyone's a little bit more calm about this. This is the reality that we're about to walk into. And we feel like you guys are the most loving. LightNet wants to create a column of light that allows other people to self-organize into it. So when you come to LightNet and CAN TV and all these high vibrational things, you're going to know how to feel. You're going to know that this is about love and acceptance and being kind to each other during this process. And we're going to know that it's about also expanding into what we're capable of, because after you bend the spoon, then you go, oh yeah, I can start that hospital I always wanted to, because it's limitless. There's enough money for everyone. There's enough, it's all here. It's our subconscious that's blocking that reality.
Yeah. It's actually dropping into that knowingness and that consciousness that we already are, but we have set up these blocks for ourselves. So yeah, that's a very powerful point. Now I want to ask real quick, I know you shared with us how you came into the spoon bending arena, but what really piqued your interest in this field to begin with? Did you have an experience that happened, or did you just gradually step in to this?
I don't know what happened, but I ended up on that website. And like I said, it was like a tunnel. And this only happened with one other person, this other guy, Mike, in my life, where it was like, boom. And I was like, and it just seemed like the most ridiculous thing that I'd ever heard of. And it seemed really fun in a time when I wasn't feeling good in my life and I was kind of depressed. And I was like, I was dark night of soul. And I was like, that is like, could that really be true? And it was just like, it just made me laugh. You know what I mean? And that set me on this, and it took a while to get the spoons. And I had to I was living in an apartment in LA, and I didn't have a place to be yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs. So I had to convince my friend to let me do it at her house, like, can we, and she was like looking at me like, what do you want to do? What, I'm like, oh, right. And just step out there with whatever you're curious about or whatever you want to do. Even if people are like, oh, you want to start a school, you want to build it from scratch. Like, this girl in Sedona, she's building a whole children's school from scratch, and it's a big idea, but she's not shying away from it, and it will happen because she's beautiful and amazing.
That's awesome. And I really wanted you to talk a little bit more about that, because I just want people to understand that all you have to do is open that doorway and everything will start walking in it to you. All you have to do is just meet it. And I think that is so powerful. And the work that you do is so powerful because you show people every single day what's truly capable of humanity. And yes, there will be a larger, governmental disclosure that will take place. But the reality of it is, we already have our galactic family members among us. We have galactic families in our living rooms, in our bedrooms, coming to us at night, talking to us. And as we continue to open up and to embrace that and even share it, much like what you did, is this possible? The same thing is happening, little by little, as we share our truth with people, their doorways begin to open and we are showing them what is possible. So thank you so much for being a leader, holding that torch, and really letting people know what is possible. Anything is possible. And you're not only are you showing them, you're showing them and backing it up with the data. And that is so important. Now instead of people saying, oh, well, this happened and that happened, and they're like, yeah, right. You can say, and it happened to 72 people at 6 o'clock in the evening on this night. So that is super, super important. You're really validating the experiences that people have been having for so many years. So thank you so much for all your hard work. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, it's really, this work is really done in small groups where everyone's on board. You know what I mean? There's no doubters in the group. It's like, we all can do telepathy, or we all can, do astral travel. Let's do it.
Right.
And so, an extraordinary thing happened at Conscious Life Expo. So there was a young girl. So the other thing that I want to mention to you guys is you guys already know how to do all this stuff, which is super bizarre. So our professors in our small teams, the remote viewing and all that stuff, they're teaching, but they're actually just pushing you to just doing it, just trying it, right? And that's one thing I want to remind you guys. You already know how to do everything. Women in particular, we won't apply for a job unless we're like overqualified. A man is like slightly, maybe kind of qualified, and they just apply like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
So remember that all this psychic abilities and all these things you really just have within you, and that you just need to be put at it, and you can do it. And they do that at the mystery school. They like, you'd come with a partner and they'd hand you a picture. I brought my picture, gave it to my partner, and they would read the picture, and you just like go like, red car, this, that, whatever. And they were like, that was right. And they were seeing it was right. I mean, it was like, I don't know how, what I mean? They would hand us, we had no teaching. The teacher hadn't even started teaching the class yet. And we're, they're doing it with medical thing. They give a body picture, like, oh, draw your partner's like physical problems or whatever, you know what I mean? And it worked. So remember, just step into this stuff. And the other thing I was actually starting to tell was that, so in spoon bending, I bend the first spoon and we talk about, I lead the thing. And then I just call on someone random in the audience, and then they do it. And so this young girl came up in Conscious Life Expo. She's like, thanks for my main character moment. And she was like, my name is Coffee, but I have my parents call me Coffee, the girl that levitates. And I was like, cool. So we knew that we were going to start a curiosity lab about levitation, but I thought it was going to be like into the future. And here it is. She's going to now, she's founding this lab for us. And so the first step is for her, well, she set the intention, but she's going to find 100 people who've levitated. And I've met 2 people that have levitated, like literally. So it's, I mean, and of course you hear about the Tibetan monks and all, they're doing it too. But like, so even something as totally insane as levitation and teleportation is actually being done today. And once we collect those first 100 stories of those people who did it, then you start to go, well, maybe I could do it. Also want to say that, my dream also was to put a curiosity lab up for my friend who's paralyzed. I'm like, we've got to solve your problem, Aaron. I know it's your life's destiny to solve this. He's like, I know. And he's tried everything. And he's kind of tired, to tell you the truth. So I meet a guy at Conscious Life Expo, Dr. Todd, and he goes, oh yeah, I can cure paralysis. We use stem cells with lasers and we cure it. And someone just walked. And he's like, I also cured blindness and I can cure Parkinson's in 3 days. So the technology and the consciousness are meeting us. So if you're thinking that, I can't live till I'm 150, or I'm blind, I'll never see, you are wrong. Because there's 100th monkey going on right now. And then there's brilliant people that are downloading information on how to do this stuff from the wisdom of God and all that is, right? So our desires will be met with reality when we come from a pure heart. So yeah, LightNet wants to showcase all of these miracles and then just invite everyone in to try it, right? So
Wonderful.
don't, yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Again, you can visit Zinka at lightnet.org. If you're interested, she has another 20 spots available. So reach out. I want to check one more time. Does anyone else have a question? Let me scan through really quick to see if any hands are raised.
And if you know someone that can levitate, please let us know, because Coffee will want to be interviewing them. Yeah.
Is it a one-time levitation or on a consistent basis?
I don't know. The people that I talked to, one was a consistent basis while he was sleeping. He would levitate and his roommate would freak out. And then the other one did it several times, you know what I mean? And her husband was like, you can't do that. And she was like, yes, I can. You know what I mean? Like he was like even surprised, you know, and they're both very high level, you know, healers, but, and she did, and she does.
I know that when Gail Mack was in Egypt and she had the spirit of Isis moving through her and she was channeling Isis for about 3 days, she just levitated, and she would be down on the beach with her friends, each one on each side, and they're just sitting there looking like, you have no footprints. And she literally levitated for 3 solid days after that experience. So I'll reach out to her. I don't know if she's levitated again or not, but
it doesn't matter. Like once is enough. That's amazing. So yeah, Coffee, I'm sure would love to interview her. Like, or we could, yeah. Wow. I think Stone had a question. Wow.
yeah. Hey, Stone.
We love Stone.
Hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say this is absolutely fantastic. You know, it is, there's so many different areas that are opening up and people are stepping into their inner knowing, their inner self, you know, and it's like, yeah, we're getting, you know, we're getting amped up, we're getting charged, we're being able to say, we have got these abilities and this is what I'm finding. Who wants to play? And it's absolutely fantastic finding other people that are doing the same experiments freely, willingly, you know, because they want to know what they're capable of doing. And it comes down to just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and you'll be surprised at how much magic you are, how wonderful it is to heal yourself. And it's playtime. So thank you, Zinka, and everybody for coming on here, because, you know, it's a shared experience. It's shared awareness that we're bringing to the table. So I look forward to catching up with you again. Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Stone. Thanks for all you're doing. You are a bright light. And it's like people are loving your course and all that you have freed your mind. And once you're around people like Altair and Stone, it's like it creeps into your own life. And it's beautiful.
Wonderful. Well, speaking of bright lights, you are indeed a bright light yourself. So thank you again for being here with us. I always appreciate it. Again, if you want to reach out to Zinka, please get a hold of her at lightnet.org. Sign up. Maybe if not for this upcoming, I'm sure there will be other opportunities down the road. So just follow the website. Keep abreast of what's happening. Zinka, you're changing the world. So thank you, honey, for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing. Thank all of you for being here. And do you have any final comments that you would like to share?
No, I think we've said it. I mean, thanks to everyone who's here on this call and who's listening, who's wanted to color out the outside of the lines and been curious. You know, it hasn't always been easy being in these discussions, but the floodgates are open now. Like you can't, I mean, it's like all the millennials think they're star seeds. So, I mean, it's just like now it's the Renaissance, right? You guys, it's the Renaissance. So it's like the mirror neurons. When I see that Sheila can contact, you know, dead people or can help people that are walking, you know, all this stuff, it's just like, oh, it creates those beliefs, and that's what creates the reality. And sky's the limit. And I think that so many regular everyday people like us are being empowered now. And it's so encouraging because we will take over the world in love, in coordination, and collaboration. And it's right here. And it's just about to go. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who is here in our audience. Thanks to all the folks that are watching us on YouTube and for all those phenomenal comments. If you are joining us on YouTube, please be sure to hit like and subscribe. Leave us a great comment. Check us out. Download our apps on Roku, Amazon, Apple TV. Check us out on our website, or even download the phone apps. And that way, no matter where you're going, you can watch Cosmic Conversations live and in person, driving down the road. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Much love to everyone. Have a beautiful week, and namaste. Thank you again.